Superstation WGN is your home for big league baseball.
Can put it on the board! Yes!
So come on home.
The Leadoff Man, brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
From Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, overcast skies, but should be a nice day for baseball today as the Cubs take on the Cardinals. Final game of this season series, and it's the Leadoff Man here on WGN Sports. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. The Cubs go into action today, one game up on the Milwaukee Brewers. It was a long day of baseball yesterday, a day-night doubleheader. The Cubs won game one 3-2. They dropped the nightcap 4-3. With Milwaukee winning, the Cubs lead dropped from a game and a half to one over the Brewers. The Cardinals right now are 6 games out, and that matchup in Milwaukee today, right-handers Matt Belisle and Carlos Villanueva. We'll talk more about the starting pitchers here a little bit later, but we can mention Jason Marquis will pitch for the Cubs, and it'll be left-hander Mark Mulder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Big day of baseball yesterday. We'll have all the highlights. Alfonso Soriano continues to hit big home runs. More on that coming up.
How to keep it hot.
You are wearing a handkerchief for a shirt.
And spice up your love life.
Your wife had an affair with another woman?
Can you say that any louder? I think there's one guy outside who can't hear you.
No, I heard him.
Next.
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Dog River has always been a farming community. We should build a hoe.
World's biggest hoe?
Covered with topsoil.
Now it's a big dirty hoe.
Okay, you know what? I don't know if this hoe thing is such a great idea.
Don't touch my Bud Light.
Yeah, right. Orange. Little.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Nice work, boys.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
I wish you could see me for who I am.
Don't be afraid of me.
And don't feel bad for me.
Just care what happens to us.
Dame una oportunidad.
If you can't be a foster parent, find another way to help foster children thrive.
Do something to help me make it.
Help make foster care better.
Just do something.
Don't write me off.
Don't write me off. Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids. This message brought to you by WGN TV and the Illinois Foster Care Agency in your community.
Well, it's been a long road trip. This will be the final game. The Cubs 6-4 on this four-city trip, which included that win on Monday in the makeup game at Wrigley Field against the Cardinals. The Cubs began the trip tied for first in the division, and that's the worst they can be after today. Let's check out the highlights of the doubleheader split yesterday. And the Cubs trailed early in game one. Jim Edmonds with a first inning two-run double off Ted Lilly would be the only 2 runs Lilly would give up all afternoon. The bullpen was tremendous. Kerry Wood ended up pitching in both games. A scoreless inning in game one. He would end up getting the win because Alfonso Soriano with a huge go-ahead 2-run homer in the 8th inning off Ryan Franklin. And Ryan Dempster would make it hold up. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 ninth to pick up his 27th save. Kerry Wood with his first career win as a reliever. Then in game 2, it was a good start for the Cubs. They were already up 1-0, and in the second inning off Joel Pinheiro, the second 2-run homer of the day for Alfonso Soriano, the Cubs led 3-0, and things looked very good. Sean Marshall was on the mound, but maybe the play of the game here, a strikeout, and then Jason Kendall. You see the bat kind of gotten away, and his toss to Derek Lee not on the mark. So the runner reached, and Yadier Molina would end up doubling home 2. Ludwig and Edmonds to get the Cardinals within one. Scott Spezio would tie it with a single. And two batters later, Miguel Cairo with a go-ahead RBI triple. That made the ballgame 4-3. And the Cubs could not get their offense going the rest of the way against Pinheiro, Springer, and Isringhausen. A 3-6-3 double play to end it. And the Cardinals ending their 9-game losing streak. So they're 6 games out. They've got a long, long way to go. The Cubs would like to put them away today. If they can win, it'll be 3 out of 4 this weekend in St. Louis. When we come back, we'll focus on that pitching matchup, Marquis and Mulder from St. Louis.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Don Johnson.
You're out of order, and you're out of business.
Cheech Marin.
Surprise.
2 cops who turn every bust
Oh, can you hear me?
No problem with his hearing.
into a blast.
What is that?
That would be a grenade launcher. Is this where the auditions for the Village People revival is?
Nash Bridges.
Why don't you slip into these for me?
Nash Bridges, weekdays at 10 Eastern on Superstation WGN. And now, a funny moment with Brent Bott.
I like being a comedian, but being a rock star, that'd be the best thing ever. They have all the cool microphone moves, like they can give you that dramatic upside-down microphone. They'll be like, you are the star in my sky of love, or whatever schmaltz they're peddling. I envy that, because as a comedian, I can't really come out here. 2 guys walk into a bar. It doesn't work.
Catch Brent Bott, the star of our brand new comedy series, Quarter Gas. Premieres Monday on Superstation WGN.
Welcome back to the leadoff man. A lot of Cub fans here in Cardinal country today as these 2 teams wrap up a 4-game series. Pitching matchup, the former Cardinal Jason Marquis, 2-1 in 3 starts this year and 3-1 in his career against his former team. 11-8 overall. Mark Mulder, the Chicago area product. He went to Thornwood High. He makes just his 3rd start since returning from shoulder surgery. It has not gone well for the left-hander in 2 starts this season. It's the Cubs and the Cardinals. Another big one today for the Cubs. We'll have all the action coming up next.
The Leadoff Man has been brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
Want to sell your car? Don't list it in a newspaper. Sure, lots of people read the paper, but only a fraction of readers search the newspaper for a car. If you really want to sell it, call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER now or visit autotrader.com. We give you 2 powerful ways to list your car, online and in print. In fact, AutoTrader is the source people turn to when looking for a used car, reaching more buyers than any newspaper. A lot more. Nearly 13 million car buyers a month. That's nearly 13 million online and shopping their local AutoTrader magazine. So call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER or visit autotrader.com today. Get an online listing plus a listing in the magazine with photos, a detailed description, and more, all for one low price. Don't bother with the newspaper classifieds. Sell your car now with AutoTrader. Call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER or visit autotrader.com.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanted to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, isn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs. Superstation WGN is your home for Big League Baseball.
Can put it on the board! Yes!
So come on home. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
It's been a weekend of sellout crowds, and today should be no exception as the Cubs and the Cardinals will wrap up their season series. The Cubs have won 2 of the first 3 this weekend, and if they can win today, they'll be in sole possession of first place no matter what Milwaukee does in their game against the Reds. The Cubs and the Cardinals here on WGN Sports. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Cubs and the Cardinals. Last time these 2 teams will meet here in 2007. It's been a long road trip. Alfonso Soriano without a lot of hits, but he's made most of them count.
Well, we've known all along Alfonso Soriano is not your prototypical leadoff hitter. He doesn't take a lot of walks, but you can see what he's done in his last 4 ball games. 4 for 17, but 3 of the 4 hits, long balls at just the right time.
Cubs are 6-4 on the trip. You see what they've done the last 6 games. In particular, the bullpen earned run average and those home runs.
Well, the resurgence of the home run ball and the bullpen has been the story of these last few games for the Cubs. They've done it in the toughest way possible, but they're still coming out on top in the end, and that's all that matters.
All right, the pitching matchup, Jason Marquis will face his former team, and left-hander Mark Mulder with just his 3rd start of the 2007 season. Cubs and Cardinals lineups and all the action coming up.
How did we get roped into this?
Don't worry. I got enough for both of us.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
First time at the opera place?
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms. Sneezing, runny nose, for a full 24 hours. In fact, it works so well, only Claritin is proven to make me alert and focused. And it doesn't make me drowsy, like some other medicines can. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
Hey, you got some stuff.
It's not stuff, Meredith. It's an Oreo dessert pizza mustache.
Yeah, you get it whenever you eat Domino's new Oreo dessert pizza. Mine's just not as full.
Give it time, Kevin. It'll fill out.
You really think so?
I think so. I know so.
Domino's new warm and chocolatey Oreo dessert pizza. Just $3.99 with any purchase. Call or order online.
Chicago Cubs baseball. Brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Comcast. Catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
We are underway. A foul strike on Alfonso Soriano. Mark Mulder pitching for the Cardinals. Another foul. And 2 quick ones on the Cubs leadoff man. 8 hits, 5 home runs on the road trip. And Mark Mulder, the 30-year-old lefty, making just his 3rd start since coming back from shoulder surgery.
0-2 in his first 2 starts, a lofty ERA. He's given up 3 home runs in 8 innings of work.
That's deep as Rick Ankiel will make the catch. A few feet in front of the warning track. Just about everything Soriano has hit in the air has had a shot to go on this trip. Now the rest of Lou Pinella's Cubs lineup against Mark Mulder and the Cardinals, brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Mark DeRosa coming up. It's the right-handed lineup except for the pitcher, Jason Marquis. So here's D-Row playing second base and batting second. You have Merton and Monroe, Soto, Cedeno. So half the 8 position players not regulars. Another fly ball. Jim Edmonds gets an opportunity, so Ryan Ludwig may want to be ready here with Derek Lee coming up.
Spread the wealth, or the poverty as the case may be. I tell you, mentioned the all right-handed hitting lineup against Mark Mulder, and based on his first 2 starts, not that big of a deal. Lefties are 5 for 9. That's a .556 batting average against the Cardinal lefty. Right-handers hitting .385, so he struggled against everybody in his first 2 starts.
Missed over a calendar year. In his first 2 starts back, he has gone just 4 innings each time out. Derek Lee 11 for 15 in his career against Mark Mulder with a home run.
Boy, those are video game numbers right there. That's just ridiculous. I'll tell you, Mulder had 4 rehab starts in the minor leagues combined at Palm Beach A-ball and Memphis AAA. Derek Lee continues to stay hot against Mark Mulder.
12 for 16, and he'll end up at second base.
I was about to mention that Mulder's rehab starts in the minor leagues. There were reports that the radar gun was turned off because his fastball was only topping out in the low 80s. Now we've seen him up to 89 already in this ball game today with the fastball, but doesn't seem to bother Derek Lee a bit.
And I think part of the reason for turning the radar guns off was more for Mulder, who said he just didn't want to see it. And I think he's looked at it more about how I feel as opposed to how hard I'm throwing. And you know, he's not going to be 100% until next year, but well enough to come back and try to give this Cardinals team a spark. A 2-out double by Lee. Here's a pitch to Ramirez, and it's a little bit off the outside corner.
And really, Mulder was never an overpowering pitcher to begin with. His fastball, when healthy, sat in the low 90s. He's more about changing speeds and hitting his spots.
That one registered at 89. Now I don't see the numbers on the stadium board here. We have our readout. Yeah, I don't think they're going to put it up there. 3-0. We are getting the Cardinals stadium gun. And that's what you see on your screen, but nobody in the ballpark is seeing it. And there's ball 4. Now things got a little testy, and you know, part of it, Bob, could have simply been that these two teams were here for about 13 hours last night. But Ramirez very disgusted with himself after hitting a high pop infield fly, and Russ Springer said something to Aramis as he was walking off toward the Cardinal dugout, and Aramis did not appreciate it.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Just the end of a long day, at times frustrating for both teams yesterday afternoon and evening. So I think we all tried to make a little more of it than it really was. Just some frustration boiling over at the end of a long day, I'm sure.
One strike on Matt Merton. Matt starting in right. Well, Lou said just a long day for everybody. He said we were a little careless in game 2, but he just kind of wanted to put yesterday in the rearview mirror. Lou sounded a little stuffed up, maybe battling a cold or the flu or something, but said he got enough sleep last night, feels better today than he did yesterday. He is not a big fan of the split doubleheader. He said if he had to do it over again, he might tell his players to leave between games. Maybe go grab some dinner, just put on your civilian clothes and just get out of here for an hour or two. Most of the guys were able to just kind of hang around, and it makes for a very long day.
The split doubleheader is a relatively new invention in the game of baseball. And I think teams are still trying to figure out how to best handle it. I mean, I don't think it's totally out of the question that at some point in the future, if you do have a split doubleheader on your schedule, you play game 1, you have the guys shower up, put on their civilian clothes, as you mentioned, put them on a bus, take them somewhere, feed them a good dinner or a good lunch, whatever the case may be, get away from the ballpark for a couple hours, and then come back and try to start fresh for the night game. It's just a tough situation.
Popped up on the 2-2 pitch. Pujols with a beat on it. He's over near the tarp, and he makes a catch. Not an easy play right near that rolled up tarp. A couple of 2-out runners, no runs. Jason Marquis against his former team when we come back.
I'm on the 415. Let's see what kind of plane you'll be on today.
Step over there and spin that wheel. Come on.
Come on, big plane.
Woo, big plane, big plane, big plane. Big plane, big plane. No. Small plane.
On Southwest Airlines, you'll never fly in a small plane. We guarantee every seat on every flight is on a big, comfortable Boeing 737.
You are now free to move about the country.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. And there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, and as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Now let's check in on Tony La Russa's Cardinal lineup. Aaron Miles at second base leads it off. Rick Ankiel with his second start of the series. Pujols, Edmonds, who has walked 4 times already in the set. Ludwig in left. Scott Spezio at third base. Molina and Mulder the battery, and Brendan Ryan in there at short. David Eckstein has not appeared in the set.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively. Brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Craig Monroe in center field today. Matt Merton over in right. It's Ramirez, Cedeno, DeRosa, and Lee across the infield. Giovanni Soto getting a start behind the plate today, and he'll be catching former Cardinal right-hander Jason Marquis. See his numbers on the season. He's 1-1 here at Busch Stadium against the Cardinals this year. He won his start against the Cards at Wrigley Field.
Called strike on Aaron Miles. 1 for 9 this weekend. He's 5 for 10 versus Marquis. He's coming back on a 1-1 pitch. That's a strike, according to Paul Schreiber. Tim McClellan, the crew chief, at first. Fielded Culbreth at second. Marty Foster, he's at third. Topper is going to kick foul. Just past Dave McKay, the first base coach. 68 degrees. That's the warmest game time temperature of the weekend. Started at 58 yesterday, 65 Friday night. No sun to be found, but a very comfortable afternoon. Derek unassisted, 1 out.
Ground balls. Good to see ground balls when Jason Marquis takes the mound. That's when he's at his best, when he's pounding that sinker and slider down low in the zone. Ideally, his infield defense will be extremely busy today.
Ankiel 0 for 5 in the series, 2 for his last 29. This one's dribbled. It's going to roll. They might as well let it roll. And it's going to be an infield hit. A swinging bunt single for Ankiel, who has not had much success at the plate lately.
And Rick Ankiel adheres to that Alfonso Soriano theory. If you go up to the plate, you may swing at everything they throw up there. He's hacked at the first pitch just about every at bat we've seen this season. This one just a little topper down that third base line. I think the Cubs were hoping that ball would kiss up against the infield grass and head toward the foul line, but unfortunately it stayed fair.
So Marquis faces Pujols with a runner on and 1 out. Early on, no score. Fastball strike. There's a double play ball. Cedeno, DeRosa, Lee, and Marquis, the sinker baller, gets out of the inning. An infield hit, no runs. After 1, scoreless.
Don't touch my Bud Light.
Yeah, right. Orange. Little one.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Calm off. Nice work, boys.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
The real Justin and Kelly.
Just a small country girl with a great opportunity.
Their whole story has never been told until now. The rarely seen home movies, behind the scenes bloopers, American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Craig Monroe smacks that ball into the right field corner. Ankiel will dive and catch it. He might be injured. Boy, it hurt just to watch him slide on that dirt out there. At the very least, he's going to be pretty scraped up, but that was a heck of a catch to rob Craig Monroe. He's made some huge plays defensively.
Yeah, he really has. He's a good athlete out there in right field. Makes a nice running, diving catch. And the warning track here at Busch Stadium is not like warning tracks at other ballparks. It's real fine, crushed gravel. And boy, the way he went down and looked at his left hand, he has some scrapes on that thumb area.
It hurts a lot more if you don't make the catch, that's for sure. He made a diving attempt the other day and didn't get a ball hit into the corner, but showing total disregard for his body as that ball gets past Spezio, and Giovanni Soto will end up at second base. He has been very impressive at the plate. He's now 7 for his last 14 as a starting catcher.
Soto's been swinging the bat well, and Spezio has really been struggling defensively down there at third base. Kind of went down to a knee a little bit too early there. Didn't get himself into a position to make a play on that hopper down the third base line, but give Giovanni Soto a lot of credit, boy. I'll tell you, he goes up there with the idea that he's going to put an aggressive swing on anything close to that plate, and if the ball's from the middle of the plate in, that's when he hits it the hardest.
Here's Ronnie Cedeno. He's in for Ryan Theriot, gets the day off. Ryan rolled his ankle. It's not seen as a serious injury, but he's going to have to tape that thing up for the final couple of weeks. He'll probably be back in there tomorrow night against Cincinnati. And Lou noticed what we saw last night on a double in the second inning. Wondered why he didn't go for 3. We saw just a little stumble near first base. Well, that ankle's been bothering him.
Yeah, just the slightest stumble before he got to first base, and then he had to alter his steps to make sure he hit the bag at first, and that slowed him down enough that he wasn't able to go for 3, because we all know the way Ryan plays the game. Any opportunity at all to advance 90 feet, he's going to take it.
And he was later thrown out trying to score on a Sean Marshall single. Ground ball to first. Pujols will step on the bag. 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, it didn't look like much at the time, but it definitely threw Ryan off his stride. Right there, just kind of buckled on that right leg a little bit, had to reach out with the left foot to hit the bag at first. A little grimace on his face as he goes into second base and has to stop there. And we were surprised at the time, but when we saw the replay, it was clear what had happened.
Marquis pops it foul, and it's going to drop right near the Cubs dugout. The Cubs have already clinched the season series. They've won 10 of the first 15. Big swing and a miss. Marquis was trying to make it 2-0 right there. He has 1 home run this year, 3 in his career.
When you have to wonder what the Cardinals think, seeing Jason Marquis have the kind of year he's having for the Cubs. They've used 11 different starting pitchers this year with varying degrees of ineffectiveness.
He did not pitch for them in the postseason. Last couple of rounds, he wasn't even on their roster after a very bad second half. He might have simply needed a change of scenery. Worked with Larry Rothschild and his mechanics in the offseason. There's a high fly. Ankiel will have room just onto the warning track to end the inning. Ankiel started the inning by robbing Craig Monroe. May have saved a run ultimately after the double by Soto.
Ooh, the never-ending pasta bowl is going on.
Oh, you didn't know?
No,
I had no idea.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl with new smoked mozzarella Alfredo. Pick any sauce and pasta combination, then another. Just $8.95. Have all you want.
Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out for free right now at freecreditreport.com.
Knowing my credit score helped me save money on my home loan.
Now we can monitor all 3 of our national credit reports every day.
It helps us save money and check for potential identity theft.
Just a few clicks, and I get my credit report and credit score free.
Log on now to freecreditreport.com.
Offer applies with the Roman Triple Advantage.
Hey, you got some stuff.
It's not stuff, Meredith. It's an Oreo dessert pizza mustache.
Yeah, you get it whenever you eat Domino's new Oreo dessert pizza. Mine's just not as full.
Give it time, Kevin. It'll fill out.
You really think so?
I think so. I know so.
Domino's new warm and chocolatey Oreo dessert pizza. Just $3.99 with any purchase. Call or order online.
Funniest pets and people. Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
Fans, let's get some more runs. A 1, a 2.
Well, the last step of the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is upon us. Visit Cubs.com and help determine who you think should sing the 7th inning stretch on September 22nd. Listen in on Dustin Eggleseder from Guttenberg, Iowa.
I don't care if I ever get back for its root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some more runs, Cubs fans. Woo!
Nicely done. Dustin's 22 years old, recently diagnosed with bone cancer, and he's one of the 10 finalists. Said the Cubs have kept his spirits up. It's been a huge part of getting him through chemotherapy and beating his disease. So good luck to Dustin and the other finalists. And jump on Cubs.com to vote now.
Boy, for a true Cub fan, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking looking there at the judges table. You see Ernie and Billy sitting there. I'm sure he would have just as soon shaken their hand and gotten an autograph, but did a nice job.
And we'll get a look at a couple of other finalists a little later today. 0-2 pitch to Jim Edmonds, called strike 3, and he'll head back to the dugout empty-handed.
Boy, a lot of movement on that Jason Marquis sinker today. He threw one to Albert Pujols on the outside corner for a called strike. This comeback sinker to Jim Edmonds just freezes him. Right back over the white part of the plate.
Well, you're right. Normally, it's a little tighter break. So one start after we discussed the fact that his stuff usually looks about the same. It looks a little better than usual today. Maybe that's a really good sign. Off the end of the bat, Ludwig. And he's going to ground out. Two outs, and Scott Spezio will bat. Game 2 was a weird one last night. The Cubs jumped all over Joel Pinheiro. They had 3 hits, 4 consecutive base runners in the first inning, 3 consecutive hits in the second, including a 2-run homer. Looked like they were off to the races. The Cardinals had 2 in the first, 2 in the second, but did not score against Sean Marshall, who found a way to escape. And then they busted it open in the third. And then after that, Bob, both bullpens were excellent. And in the case of the Cardinals, Pinheiro and Springer and Isringhausen did a good job. For the Cubs, Michael Wirtz had to come in just the 3rd inning. And he led a parade of Omen, Hart, Wood, Air. They gave the Cubs a chance.
Well, I know we were both encouraged by Kerry Wood's day yesterday. Pitched in the first game, came back and pitched in the second game. No drop off in velocity. His stuff was very crisp. Some of the best stuff we've seen from Kerry Wood, obviously, in a long time.
Well, Jason Marquis rolling along here. A couple of called third strikes in the second. Nothing.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
When it comes to powerful congestion relief, my choice is Clear. I get Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Some allergy decongestants change their formulas. Claritin D chose not to change.
For terrible sinus pressure, my choice is Clear. Claritin D.
Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer to relieve your worst allergy symptoms, including congestion and sinus pressure, without drowsiness.
For the worst allergies, I want a product with the best decongestant. My choice is Clear. Claritin D.
Get Claritin D at the pharmacy counter. Still no prescription needed.
Live Claritin Clear.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
The real Justin and Kelly.
Just a small country girl with a great opportunity.
Their whole story has never been told until now. The rarely seen home movies, behind the scenes bloopers, American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
For Marquis, 15 pitches, 14 strikes against the first 6 batters. Curveball a little low on Alfonso Soriano. Second time through the order. First time around, 2 doubles and a walk. High fly, it's deep. Edmonds at the warning track, and it's going to be off the wall. Edmonds might be hurt. Soriano rounding second. He's going to stay there. Edmonds getting up slowly. And it looks like he's all right. Third hit, they've all been doubles. That ball almost got out.
Watching the way Edmonds went after that ball, I couldn't decide whether he thought he had a bead on it or he knew it was gone. Soriano hit that ball out near the end of the bat, but still generates enough power to challenge that left center field wall. Edmonds just kind of gliding back there. Took a look at the wall right there. I thought he was going to have a play on that ball. Looked like it was very close to his glove. One last peek at the fence. I don't think he picked up the ball quickly enough when he looked back that last time. 3 hits in the game for the Cubs, 3 doubles. This is a bartender special today.
One strike pitch on DeRosa.
Craig Monroe nearly had a double down the right field line. Only a great play by Rick Ankiel kept it from being 4 doubles in the ball game.
Make it a double. Off the inside part of the plate. In the St. Louis Post-Dispatch story back on the 1st of this month, after a rehab outing from Mark Mulder, talking about the radar gun, he said, quote, "I don't want to know. I don't want to be thinking about it." That is foul. Called by the home plate umpire, Paul Schreiber. No argument from Spezio. He then later added, quote, "If I throw one that goes 86, I'm going to go, quote, I'm going to throw this one real hard and then I get out of whack. I don't care, nor do I want to see it." So that's Mark Mulder talking about the radar readings.
And I think that's a common sentiment for any pitcher coming back on a rehab outing. You see that reading, and if it's lower than you think it is, you get out of whack mechanically, trying to generate more velocity. If it's higher than you think it is, maybe you think you're healthy and declare yourself ready to go when indeed you're probably not ready to go. So probably a good idea for all pitchers to turn off that radar gun on their rehab outings.
Now the thing about it, the readings here are in the 4th deck down both lines. Good block by Molina. So It's not as if it's right in the sight line of Mark Mulder. They could be right on that baseball to the left of his name. They could be informing the crowd here, but I'm sure part of it too is they know that people right above us in the press box see those readings, and if they see 82, 83 and they think it's a fastball, they're going to ask Mark Mulder and Tony La Russa about it, and Dave Duncan. DeRosa walks 2 on with no outs. So it brings up Derek Lee, and this is a perfect spot for the Cubs. They picked up his 12th hit and 16 career at bats in the opening inning, and he's batting with 2 men on and no outs. Now, as a catcher, I don't know if you always had the radar readings to look at back in the 80s, but is that something you even look at? I mean, they have it in just about every park now.
I never paid attention to it in the parks that did have it.
Hit hard. Spezio knocks it down. They're going to go around the horn for a double play. That's bad luck for Derek Lee. He hit that ball right on the money, but he hit it right at Spezio. 2 outs.
And Spezio didn't handle this one cleanly either, but unfortunately it was hit so hard he had time to recover, throw on to Aaron Miles, and good takeout slide by Mark DeRosa. Unfortunately, Derek Lee just can't leg it out that first baseline.
No, Mulder hasn't fooled Lee in his 2 at-bats.
I'll tell you, my theory on those radar guns always was the hitter will let you know if you're throwing good enough or not.
Sure.
You know, velocity's not the most important thing. You know, so there are some pitchers that it's a good gauge to see where they're at in their rehab. Are they getting close to where they were before an injury? And that's really the biggest use for a radar gun in my eyes, is when a guy is coming back on a rehab outing, to measure where he's at according to his baseline before the injury.
I like having it, but the main reason we like having it, it helps us identify the pitches.
Absolutely.
More than anything else.
You know, I talk a lot about the pitching charts that the Cubs coaching staff has so graciously allowed me to look at from time to time this year, and it'll have a listing there of what pitches the opposing pitcher throws: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, whatever the case may be, and give a range and an average velocity for each pitch. So when we do look up at the board here and it says 84, well, geez, that's kind of a tweener there. And you look at the pitching chart, well, 84 is usually a slider for this pitcher.
Ramirez walks 2 in the inning. Yeah, I've often had people ask, how do you identify pitches? And sometimes, to be honest, it's guesswork. But with the Cubs pitchers, it's usually easier, as you see guys. For instance, today's starter, Jason Marquis, if it's 88 to 91, it's usually a sinker. If it's 85, 86, it'll be a slider. In the low 80s, usually a splitter or a changeup.
Yeah,
just kind of learn.
Ryan Dempster's a guy that continually fools us.
Yes.
His splitter and his slider, the action on those 2 pitches is so similar, and the velocity is very similar as well. So it's at times hard to identify the slider and the split from Dempster.
Normally, the harder throwers, it's easier to determine what's what. Where I get in trouble is when you see David Wells and Greg Maddux and Trevor Hoffman and guys who throw their fastballs in the low to mid 80s. Normally you're thinking that's an off-speed pitch when in fact it's a heater. 2 strikes.
Or the guys you mentioned, I'll throw Livan Hernandez into that mix. They may throw their fastball anywhere between 81 and 91, depending on what they're trying to do to that hitter, what pitch they're trying to set up on the following pitch. Now, those guys that add and subtract are the ones that can really confuse you.
A kick and the 0-2 on Merton, a little bit inside.
I'll tell you, if his first 2 at-bats in the ballgame are any indication, it's going to fall on Matt Merton to do damage today, because they are not going to give Aramis Ramirez anything to hit. They had a base open in his first at-bat, pitched around him. Didn't give him anything close to the strike zone here in his second at-bat. Apparently they feel much more confident going after Matt Merton. It's up to him to do some damage.
Well, obviously that's a curveball. That one was at 66 on our gun.
And another way we can identify pitches is watching the way the hitter reacts. There's a certain timing and a rhythm to a batter's swing, and if you see him way out front on his front leg, that's a real good indication it's some kind of an off-speed pitch.
A drive deep to left for Matt Merton. Is it going to be fair? It hits the netting and a home run. 3-0. The netting extends on the fair side of the foul pole. That's what it hit. And for Matt Merton, that's his 7th home run.
Well, the most important factor there is the Cubs are on the board. 3-run homer for Matt Merton. But as I just mentioned a moment ago, they may have to reconsider pitching around to Ramos Ramirez to get to Matt Merton the rest of this ball game. Just clubbed a high fastball. Good call there. The only question was fair or foul. It had plenty of distance and just did stay inside the foul pole, hitting that netting. Just by about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet fair on that netting that is in fair territory.
So with one swing of the bat, the Cubs lead 3-0, and based on how Marquis has looked early, they feel pretty good about this lead. There's another one toward the right field corner. Ankiel will not get this one. It's fair, and it bounces over for an automatic double. Well, they are getting some excellent hacks at Mark Mulder.
Did you say a double? Why not? Ankiel made a great play taking away a double from Monroe in his first at bat, so he figures I'll hit it a little bit harder and a little bit closer to the line, see what happens this time. Ball hits that hard gravel, bounces up into the seats. Craig Monroe has had 2 real good at bats in this ball game.
Pitch to Soto. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs without a single. 4 doubles and a home run. Molina was going to pick it up, and I got it. You take it. It'll be a hit for Soto. You could not have placed that ball more perfectly.
Well, I'd venture to guess Giovanni Soto's not going to get a lot of infield hits in his career, but a lot of English on that ball. It just hit in that soft grass out in front of home plate, kind of checked up back toward the plate. Molina overran it. Mulder was giving way, allowing Molina to make the play.
And finally a single. A 15-foot single. So the inning's still alive for Ronnie Cedeno, 8th batter of this 3rd. Breaking ball in the dirt. One and one on Ronnie. Well, the bench players who've gotten in there today have made their mark. Merton with a 3-run homer. Cedeno with an RBI single. So all 4 with hits this inning. Merton, Monroe, Soto, and Cedeno.
Roll on, boys.
This is starting to look like that inning you pointed out against Joel Pinheiro in Chicago.
Hard line drive back up the middle of the field. Dave Duncan's going to make a trip to the mound here. Talk to Mark Mulder. Nice job by Ronnie Cedeno staying up the middle of the field. Hey, one thing is continue to have good at-bats. Don't get too greedy. Mark Mulder's throwing some glorified batting practice right now, and it's only human nature to go up there and try to do too much, try to hit the ball out of the ballpark or in the gaps. Just hit the ball hard, try to find some holes.
Mark Mulder went to Thornwood High School in South Holland. That's where Cliff Floyd attended high school. And several years before Mulder did, Mark was the second overall pick in the 1998 draft out of Michigan State. And he went to the Oakland A's. Eddie Curry went to Thornwood. Mulder, a two-time All-Star. Good swing by Marquis. The beneficiary of this outburst.
I don't like seeing that. After that last big swing by Jason Marquis, he was kind of grabbing at his left hip area, lifting that left leg in the air. Looked a little uncomfortable before he got back in the box.
Skids it on the ground to Ryan. They'll get the force out at second. 4 runs in the inning. On 5 hits. The big blast, a home run by Merton. It's 4-0 Cubs.
Chicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker.
Someone has been working out.
Becker. Watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Late nights on Superstation WGN.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 8 daily nonstop flights from Chicago Midway to Philadelphia, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient nonstop flights and on-time service.
You are now free to move about the country.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. And there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, in as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our new WGN Cubs baseball podcast tomorrow. Bob and I will record this week's podcast today after the game. It should be available beginning tomorrow on WGNTV.com. Look for the link for Len and Bob's podcast. See, I wore that shirt in that picture today just to kind of get you in the mood. Our podcast Sunday look. Click, download, and enjoy. Tiger wears red usually, right, on Sundays? No, we wear blue. Well, most of the time.
You wore blue. I didn't get the memo.
Sliced foul by Yadier Molina out of play. Jason Marquis with a 4-0 lead as he seeks his 12th win. This is his 31st start. That marks the 4th consecutive year of at least 31 starting assignments. The Cubs have won 18 of his first 30 outings. Hit hard, but Ronnie Cedeno scoots over to his right and throws out Molina. Mark Mulder is going to be taken out for a pinch hitter, Brian Barden. So this will be the shortest outing for Mulder. 4 innings each of his first 2 times out, and only 3 today. Busted bat and a soft liner handled by DeRosa.
It was the first out of the ball game for Jason Marquis that wasn't either a ground ball or a strikeout. That little broken bat soft liner right to Mark DeRosa.
It makes you wonder, and a lot of it's going to depend on how Mark Mulder feels, but if the Cardinals are not in this thing, and they're very much on the fringe right now, you wonder if he's going to get a lot more chances here. I mean, he's done this for a long time and has had a lot of success, but you worry a little bit about his confidence if you're Tony La Russa. He just didn't have it today, and it's the 3rd consecutive start when he really didn't have it. Marquis fell off the mound there, and let's hope he's all right.
And Giovanni Soto started out to the mound to check on him, and Jason kind of waved him off. Remember, we mentioned his left hip area, upper thigh. On that one swing in his at bat, he looks back toward the mound as if it was a physical issue with the mound. Better balance that time. And getting back to Mark Mulder, I mean, anytime a guy's coming back from an injury rehab, you like to see progress. You know, a little deeper into the ball game, a little more arm strength, breaking pitches a little crisper each time out, and certainly that hasn't been the case for Mark Mulder. So I agree with you, Lena. You just wonder about the effects it would have to continue to run him out there when he's obviously not anywhere near 100%. But you know what? That's Tony and Dave Duncan's problem.
Right. Cubs will not see these Cardinals again until next year. Ground ball. Ramirez can't get it. And Ryan is aboard with 2 outs.
Ramirez tries to field this ball off to the side a little bit. Another half step to his left. He gets in front of it. And then when the ball does take that bad hop, at least you're in a position to knock it down, pick it up, and throw the runner out at first base. As it is, it will be ruled an error on Aramis Ramirez.
Cubs made 4 in the doubleheader yesterday, 2 in each game. Well, that's their 90th of the year. The 2 errors in game 1 did not hurt them. But the throwing error by Jason Kendall did hurt the Cubs in a 4-run 3rd. Runner going, and a fly ball to right. Caught by Matt Merton to end the threat. Cubs 4, Cardinals nothing after 3 from St. Louis.
How did we get roped into this?
Don't worry. I got enough for both of us.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
First time at the Opera Place? She's an accident waiting to happen.
My brother calls me Murphy's Law. Is this the key?
But this Friday...
Now?
Wait till I get this... She's gonna slip.
Sorry.
Fall.
Oh, you all right?
Yeah.
And crash her way into your heart. Good luck, Chuck.
Oh.
Rated R. In theaters Friday.
Hey, you got some stuff.
It's not stuff, Meredith. It's an Oreo dessert pizza mustache.
Yeah, you get it whenever you eat Domino's new Oreo dessert pizza. Mine's just not as full.
Give it time, Kevin. It'll fill out.
You really think so?
I think so. I know so.
Domino's new warm and chocolatey Oreo dessert pizza. Just $3.99 with any purchase. Call or order online.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Jason Marquis chatting with Mark O'Neill, the Cubs head trainer. Mark is smiling. That's always a good sign. And Marquis has pitched well. Soriano started the third inning with a double. He would come around to score on the Merton 3-run homer. He faces Kelvin Jimenez. Breaking ball out of the zone, 2-0. Merton got that big inning going with the home run. With 2 outs, no less. Fair ball for Soriano. Ball's going to rattle around in the corner. Another 2-base hit. He has 36 on the year.
Well, I'll tell you, Alfonso Soriano gets as much topspin on those line drives as any hitter I've ever seen. That would be a real good 12-6 curveball as that ball headed out toward the left field corner. Ryan Ludwig with a little problem picking up the ball out there in the left field corner, but Soriano content to cruise into second base with a leadoff double.
Fouled away to the right by DeRosa.
I don't know about you, but I would really like to see the Cubs tack on a few more runs in this inning and the next inning, just to kind of put it out of reach, let everybody take a deep breath and relax.
That's a good point. This hasn't been the most relaxing road trip, even though the Cubs have won 6 of 10. Now, they did have the laugher on Monday at home against the Cardinals. They've been in a lot of very close games. Be another good reason to tack on and let the Brewers and their fans know in Milwaukee if they're trying to hold serve today. Brewers with 2 in the third. Cubs have a 1-game lead in the division. Joe Dillon with a 2-run double off Matt Belisle. We'll see the Reds tomorrow night back home. Molina able to locate the ball right beneath his feet.
Well, for Alfonso Soriano against Jimenez, that was his 4th hit and 2nd double in only 5 at-bats. That's ownership. You go 4 for 5 against somebody with 2 doubles, you own them.
So if you're what, 3 for 7, 3 for 6, you have a lease with an option to buy?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this inning is shaping up just like the last one, a double and then a walk to start it.
And the guy making his way to the on-deck circle will hit after Derek Lee. Aramis Ramirez is 3 for 3 with a couple of doubles against Kelvin Jimenez. So co-ownership, kind of a timeshare between Ramirez and
Lee looking for a better result than his third inning at bat, a 5-4-3 double play, and he'll get a better result, a single. And the bases are full of Cubs with no outs.
Boy, there have been some loud hits in this ball game already for the Cubs offensively. Not getting fooled by anything Mark Mulder had to offer through the first 3 innings, and then jumping on Jimenez right away here in the 4th. Just a middle-in fastball, mid-thighs.
Three on, no outs. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He went after a slider.
Boy, and if it continues in this at bat, keep an eye on Yadier Molina behind the plate. He calls the sign to the pitcher, and then he moves way off the outside corner, and has been doing that against Aramis Ramirez throughout this series. Way off the plate once again.
Hit hard foul behind Mike Quaddy, who is in a vulnerable position because of that runner at second base. We've talked a lot about base coaches being in harm's way this year. He has to keep his eyes somewhat on home plate. And drive the other way foul, still 1-2. And a reminder coming up Tuesday, September 18th, Cubs hosting the Reds. Game time 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 20,000 fans will get a scratch and win card. 100 random winners will receive a Majestic Athletic Aramis Ramirez 2007 home jersey, compliments of Gatorade. Downstairs, 2-2. Merton on deck already with a home run today. Three and two with the bases loaded. Soriano at third, DeRosa's at second, and Lee at first. All the pressure's on the pitcher in this spot. The 3-2 to Ramirez, not hit hard on the ground. The throw's going to go to the plate. They do get the out. There was a little hitch by Ryan, who had trouble getting it out of his glove. But he did have time. So 6-2. They're still loaded. One out.
See, Soriano gets a very late jump off of third base. And Ryan misfired on the first attempt, finds the handle and throws on to Molina, still in time to get Soriano at home plate.
Blocked by Molina. 1-0 on Merton.
Merton's been a good hitter with the bases loaded in his career, a .316 lifetime hitter with the bases loaded, but he's still looking for that first grand slam.
The home run for Matt is third over his last 9 games.
Back in the third inning. Jumped on a high fastball from Mark Mulder. able to keep it fair down that left field line, putting the Cubs on the board. It's always a good feeling when you hit a home run and get to home plate and there's a bunch of your teammates standing there. Not only the on-deck hitter waiting for high fives, but a couple guys that you drove in ahead of your home run. Good hitters count here for Matt Merton.
You cannot be really in a better situation. 3-0 with the bases loaded would be better. We'll see what he gets on the 2-0 pitch. This is it right here. 3-0, bases loaded.
When you said the pressure is all on the pitcher, and it's starting to show on Jimenez. A 2-0 slider. He hasn't been able to command his fastball with any consistency since coming into this ball game. Tried to go to a breaking pitch there on the 2-0 count. Now you really painted yourself into a corner.
The 3-0 is a strike, and it's now 3-1. Monroe next. He's hit the ball hard twice. 6, 4, 3. They had him loaded with nobody out and could not get a run. It's still, however, 4-0 Cubs.
What would you do if there were two of you? You'd have twice as many clothes. Perfect. Have twice as much fun. Party! And get twice as many boyfriends.
I got you a date with a college guy!
Sister, sister, it's 2 times everything. Now 5 days a week.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
Fly one of Southwest's 11 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to the San Francisco Bay Area for just $99, including new service to San Francisco International.
You are now free to move about the country.
At eHarmony, we match you across 29 dimensions of compatibility. And right now, not only can you log on to eHarmony.com and get your personality profile, you can also review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you would be matched up with according to compatibility?
He loves me for me.
Visit eHarmony.com and discover what so many singles have found. Log on today and review your eHarmony matches absolutely free. eHarmony.com.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports from Anheuser-Busch Country is brought to you by Bud.TV, where entertainment is always on and only on www.bud.tv.
Rick Ankiel leading off the last of the fourth. The Cubs lead 4-0, but they could have really blown it open. They had them loaded with no outs in the top of the inning and could not get a run. One and one. Ramirez hit into a fielder's choice, and then Merton rounded into a 6-4-3 double play. DeRosa will scoop it up, and Ankiel is out. Always important to get that guy right in front of Albert Pujols. Pujols started the day 8th in the league in batting. Ramirez 9th. Edgar Renteria leading the way at 337. Chase Utley at 335. Chipper Jones 334. Top 5 all in the 330s, so this thing could change a bunch. Hanley Ramirez 333. Matt Holliday at 330. Prince Fielder with a large lead over Adam Dunn in the home run race. 46 for Fielder, Dunn with 39. Cedeno knocked it down. He has time. And not a good throw, but Derek Lee able to scoop it up.
Nice play by Cedeno to knock that ball down, and Albert Pujols doing the Cubs a huge favor. Ran about a third of the way down to first base and then just broke it down, kind of glided into the bag. Cedeno's throw was in the dirt, but Derek Lee with a nice pick and got it in plenty of time to get Pujols at first base. There he comes. A couple steps, he sees the ball get away and then realizes, I'm going to be out anyway. I'll just glide into first base. And
Edmonds singles to left. Now I know Pujols is playing on a less than 100% right leg. Not sure if that had anything to do with the fact that he pulled up a little bit. Don't miss any of the action as the Cubs battle the Reds this Wednesday, September 19th at 7:05. The first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card. 500 random winners will receive an autographed Billy Williams photo. Compliments of Bank of America. Fans are encouraged to hold on to their cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. Last homestand coming up for the regular season, that is. Ludwig batting with 2 outs and Edmonds at first. Here's the pitch. Ball 2, 2-0. What a year Jimmy Rollins has had. Leads the league in runs with 126. Total bases with 345. He has 18 triples pacing the National League. Ramirez stops, fires, and gets Ludwig. Jason Marquis given up just 2 singles through 4, and the Cubs lead by 4.
Think back to the best beer you've ever had. Now, get ready to top it. Fresh Budweiser served on draft. No other beer is this fresh. And the taste, just as the brewmaster intended. Will it be your best beer ever? I say we find out. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
You know how it goes. There's your love life. And there's your life. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast, and as little as 30 minutes for some men, and work up to 36 hours. With Cialis, I can have the option of being ready fast, or have up to 36 hours to relax, knowing I can be ready when the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis?
Because life can be full of interruptions. When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. America's funniest home videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN.
Jason Marquis with a jacket on. Leading 4-0. Trying to beat the Cardinals for the 3rd time this year. Craig Monroe hits a tapper foul against Kelvin Jimenez, who got into a lot of trouble in the 4th but was able to escape. At one point, the Cubs were in the best possible position as an offense, and Jimenez was in the worst spot as a pitcher. 2 strikes. Rolled over to Spezio. Well, the last step in the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is upon us. Let's check out Rich Kienzle from Hammond, Indiana.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for it. Root for the Cubs.
Well, the good thing for Rich is we won't need a microphone. A lot of enthusiasm, and that's a big part of this competition. So he's been a loyal Cub fan his whole life. He's from the south side of Chicago, owns a Cubs bar in Indiana, and wants to be the ultimate 7th inning stretch conductor coming up on September 22nd. So go to Cubs.com and cast your vote.
Paramedics will be standing by.
And Rich, I hope I said your last name right. It's either Kienzle or Kienzle. I'm not quite sure. But good luck. We'll say Rich K from Hammond.
Or as his friends call him, Richie the K.
Richie the K.
Yeah.
3-2 to Soto. A fly ball deep the other way. Ankiel going back on it, out near the wall, bangs off the padding. Edmonds will get it back in. Soto is 3 for 3 with 2 doubles.
That's a twist we haven't seen from Giovanni Soto, his ability to go to the opposite field. That pitch was pretty much down the middle of the plate, but a very quick swing, gets the barrel of the bat on a ball and drives it to the gap in right center. Well, ricochets past Ankiel. Edmonds right there to field the carom, but man, Giovanni Soto lighting it up here today.
Now the Cubs early in the year had a lot of trouble finding offense from the catcher position. Michael Barrett got off to a slow start before he was traded. Rob Bone, Coy Hill struggled. Jason Kendall has been getting on base a lot, but Giovanni has brought that power component to the catcher position that the Cubs have lacked. There's a base hit for Ronnie Cedeno. Soto to third. He's going to be held.
Cedeno with 2 knocks in the ball game. Cubs have 6 doubles in 4 1/3 innings of this ball game. 11 hits already.
And 7 of those hits have come from Merton, Monroe, Soto, and Cedeno. That has to make Gerald and Lou very happy with a little bit of a different looking lineup. Cardinals sneaking in a little bit on the infield. The guys in the middle will try to turn 2 if Marquis hits a hard ground ball their way. Well, Lou likes experience in a pennant race, but Soto may work his way into that lineup a bit more over the final couple of weeks.
Well, obviously from the numbers he put up in Iowa this year, there's no question that Soto offensively brings more, at least as far as the ability to drive the ball into the gaps, possibly hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think the big question for Giovanni was, could he handle it behind the plate? Bringing him up late in the season, catching a pitching staff that he's not totally familiar with. Now, certainly some of the guys he's caught in the minor leagues before, but So far, he's handled the position very well. Looks quick behind the plate. He's blocked some balls in the dirt, showing a good throwing arm.
Well, good to see Ronnie Cedeno do it as well. He came in at just 127 in the big leagues. Had really good numbers at AAA. Just 55 big league at bats into today's action. Swing and a miss. Strike three. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Sports mishaps and mayhem that's all caught on tape. Whacked Out Sports premieres after the game on Superstation WGN.
Five hits in the series for Soriano. 4 have gone for extra bases. 2 home runs and 2 doubles. Both doubles today. Eleven hits, 4 runs, 7 stranded to this point. Make it 9 left. Cubs have left 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 2 more in the fifth.
Thanks, folks. I gotta get going. Cindy, get my plane ready a little later. We're not finished yet. Cindy, I got stuck on a client call. Cindy, something else just came up. Oh, yeah. Hey, Cindy.
Your plane is ready.
Thanks, Cindy. You're the best.
With so many convenient nonstop flights, you'll feel like you have your own company plane. You can count on Southwest Airlines to get you there on time with friendly customer service.
You are now free to move about the country.
Here. Are you serious? Killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
This Friday, get ready.
Get physical.
Good Luck Chuck. Rated R. In theaters Friday.
Introducing the first smartphone that really rocks. The new Moto Q Music from Verizon Wireless. Organize your life and give it a soundtrack. Because smartphones rock harder on America's most reliable wireless network, Verizon Wireless.
Funniest pets and people, Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
Joss Stone will be opening for Common at the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island this Thursday night. The show is presented by LiveNation.com and is part of the Bud Light Concert Series. For info and tickets, visit LiveNation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and live music, always worth it. Switch hitting Scott Spezio, who was activated off the restricted list on Friday. He had the game-tying RBI single in the nightcap last night and scored the game-winning run on the Miguel Cairo triple. Russell Branyan is in the hole in the pitcher's spot after Molina. Marquis 2-1 pitch, a strike, 2-2.
Oh, we mentioned it earlier. I've never seen Jason Marquis have that much movement on his sinker. One ball started off the plate inside and ended up right over the heart of the plate.
They say sinker ballers usually a little bit better if they're somewhat fatigued, and it's been a long season. Over 180 innings for Marquis, so maybe that sinker's gotten better. A full count on Spezio, trying to keep that leadoff man off base. Rich Hill will start the homestand tomorrow night against right-hander Bronson Arroyo. Tuesday, the best matchup on paper in that series, Aaron Harang and Carlos Zambrano. And then Wednesday night, we'll have it for you on WCIU. Rookie right-hander Tom Schern, who's 3-0, faces left-hander Ted Lilly. Reds have scored a lot of runs for Schern, especially in the first inning. He beat Ben Sheets on Friday. All night games in that series against the Reds coming up. Called strike 3.
Well, once again, the movement on this sinker. Jason Marquis starts it off the plate inside, freezes Scott Spezio, and then that late movement back over the inside corner of the plate. I tell you, this is from a Cardinals ball club that played behind Jason Marquis last year. They should be very familiar with his stuff and the kind of movement he has on his pitches, but he has absolutely locked up some of his former teammates today.
One strike on Molina. The Cubs are out hitting the Cards 11-2. They have pretty much thoroughly dominated them. They lead 4-0. But last night they led 3-0, and the Cardinals, with one big inning, grabbed the lead, and that was it. Blue's going to basically stick with a 4-man rotation here the rest of the way, and the Cubs might only need one more start from a 5th starter. They have off days coming up Thursday, and then a week from Monday. Play 6 in a row to end the season. So only need one more start from likely either Traxel or Marshall. That's it. Top 4 are going to take the ball the rest of the way. Molina bounces it to Ramirez, who backs up on it and throws in time.
Jason Marquis just continues to hammer away at that strike zone. He's thrown 49 pitches in this ball game, 37 of them for strikes. And quality strikes with movement. He's just not laying the ball over the middle of the plate and letting the Cardinals swing away at it. Everything is on the edges and moving. One of the best outings we've seen from Jason Marquis in a long time.
Milwaukee with a 3 spot in the 5th. It's now 5-0. But again, if the Cubs win this one, they'll have sole possession of first when they open up the homestand tomorrow. When this trip started, the Cubs were tied with Milwaukee. You kind of felt like if they could get through the 11 games over a 10-day period and be at least even, you felt all right. And at the very least, that'll happen today. There's ball 4. Branyan is on.
I'll tell you what makes me feel good is the fact that the Cubs are starting to flex their muscles. The home runs that we've been waiting for all summer are starting to come on almost a daily basis from up and down the lineup, especially from Soriano. But Matt Merton getting in the act today. Aramis Ramirez and Derek Lee hitting some home runs. Cliff Floyd has been red hot on this road trip. Very encouraging to see the long ball show up here in the last couple weeks of the season.
And there have been some frustrations today. The Cubs have, as we said, left 9 on base. But the bottom line is they're getting a lot of guys on base in the first place. 11 hits. I mean, if it were 1-0 right now, I think you'd feel a lot worse about it. And while it could be 8 or 9-0, Marquis has made a 4-run lead look fairly comfortable. He's trying to get out of this inning without having to go back to the top of the Cardinal order. He wanted that one. He's asking the home plate umpire Paul Schreiber where it was. Schreiber, I think, telling him it was outside.
You know, I checked my notes in the back of the scorebook, Len. I usually make notes about the plate umpires that we have over the course of the season. I referred back to it, and for Schreiber, I had tight zone, can be inconsistent. I haven't seen any complaints from either the Cardinals or the Cubs hitters in this ball game today. I think that's because everybody's swinging the bats.
Ramirez comes down with it, lobs over to DeRosa to force Branyan and end the inning. Cubs 4, Cardinals nothing.
Linda's hot new look.
Yes, I am reasonably attractive.
You are wearing a handkerchief for a shirt. Next, Becker.
Tonight at 12:30 Eastern. Justin and Kelly, the rarely seen home movies, behind the scenes bloopers. American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute target gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Former Cub and now Cardinal reliever Todd Wellemeyer and some of his teammates just killing some time. The remote control airplane.
The boys will be boys. Well, this is like the backyard everybody wishes they had when you get out here to the ballpark before batting practice starts. I've seen guys with radio-controlled cars racing them around the warning track before, but I've never seen that.
New pitcher for the Cardinals is Brian Falkenborg as he faces Mark DeRosa. A fastball just off the outside edge. Ball one. Kelvin Jimenez dodged base runners throughout his 2 innings but didn't give up a run. Mark Mulder went just 3, 7 hits, 4 runs. He walked 3, no strikeouts in a 58 pitch outing. Mulder with a 12.27 ERA through 3 starts. One and 2 on DeRosa. The pitch. Falkenborg will underhand to Pujols. Thought he might try to just tag DeRosa. You've been in several pennant races. How difficult is it for the players to not look at the big picture? They all admit that they do scoreboard watch. They know the schedule. They know how many games are left. But those things really don't help you once the game starts.
Now this is where you really I mean, most of the time I recommend looking at the big picture. Don't get involved in your own struggles. I mean, obviously try to correct the mistakes you're making, try to get better by practicing hard at your skills every day, but don't get so caught up in each individual bat and your own personal statistics that you lose sight of the fact you're trying to help a team win games, and you can help a team win a ball game and go 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 in the process. So this is the time of year you really have to keep the team first and foremost. What can I do to help the ball club win a game today? You know, what we told our guys is you win a World Series and even the 25th guy on the roster is a star. When you get that ring and you get the trophy at the end of the season, everybody that contributed to that victory is a star. I mean, you'd rather be the worst hitter on a World Series team than the best hitter on the team that finished second.
Ryan with a bobble, but he's able to make the play as Pujols gets it at the other end. And the other thing, everybody around the team, we're talking front office members, people who work at Wrigley Field, broadcasters, traveling secretaries, they have to at least think about the possibility of the postseason, where you might end up traveling to in the first round. All of that stuff. I'm sure players are getting calls. Hey, if you guys make it, I want tickets.
Oh, you know they are.
If you're coming to Arizona or San Diego or New York or whatever. And those are the kinds of things I think that it would have to be difficult just to put them out of your mind and not think about anything beyond the final day of this month. Really not think about the next pitch. That's it. Just focus on right now. And not on tomorrow or the next day or the following week.
I mean, you always have one eye on your ultimate goal. What is your goal? Well, and for the Cubs this year, the expectations are to get not only into the postseason, but into the big dance and win it. I mean, John McDonough right away said last year, our goal is to win the World Series. A very bold statement, but I think it was important that you put it out there for the fans, for the players, for the front office, for everybody. This is what our goal is. Now, how you get to that goal is irrelevant, and the Cardinals proved that last year. There is no way in the world that the St. Louis Cardinals were the best team going into the postseason last year, but they played the best when they needed to. And I think that's something that the Cubs have to keep in the back of their mind. Our goal is to win a World Series. It doesn't matter how we get there, but let's everybody do something every day to help us reach that goal.
By the way, good to see John, the Cubs president, here this weekend. 1-0 on Merton. Ramirez has walked 3 times. with one hit, but it was a big one, a 3-run homer. Curveball too low. Lined past Miles into right.
And Matt Merton pulled the ball down the left field line off the screen for a 3-run home run. This time goes the other way with a line drive over the head of Aaron Miles at second base. Cubs are still looking for their first double here in the 6th inning. They've had 6 doubles through the first 5 innings of this ball game, 1 in every inning, 2 of them back in the 3rd.
The bottom line is to win, and the Cubs right now leading 4-0. And I know there's some people out there who are saying, you know, they have 12 hits. They haven't come up with the big hit when they've needed to really put the Cardinals away. Well, you could say that, but this is better than what we saw last night. I mean, after a leadoff double by Derek Lee in the 3rd inning against Joel Pinheiro, that was it. He shut them down all the way through the 7th inning. They would have just 1 hit against the Cardinal bullpen. The power's been good to see, and I don't think this team is done scoring today.
And actually on days like this, I've always felt it was harder for a team offensively to put big numbers on the board because you're seeing a steady parade of relief pitchers coming in there. Every time that pitcher spot comes up, Tony La Russa is going to pinch hit. We're going to see another relief pitcher. You see different styles of pitches. You see power pitchers, finesse pitchers, breaking ball pitchers, fastball pitchers. And I always felt that was tougher to generate a lot of offense, a big offensive day, than it was to face one guy for 6 or 7 innings, see him 2 or 3 at bats, get a better feel for what he's trying to do. Of course, Joe Pinheiro was the exception to that yesterday. He got really, really good.
Monroe swings and misses to end the inning, and the score remains Cubs 4, Cardinals nothing.
It's the stars you'll always remember and the clothes you'd like to forget. Old School Soul Train is back in style.
Soul Train, Saturdays at 2.
What makes the world's perfect beer? Start with the choicest hops and the best barley malt. Then Beechwood age it for that crisp, clean taste. Finally, throw in a football and 60,000 friends. The taste that makes it game day. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
You're so excited.
We're very excited.
Everybody says, you guys should be in that commercial.
We were already a walking eHarmony commercial. We tell everybody we know.
I actually wrote in to eHarmony.
We actually kind of joke because we'll find ourselves talking about the same things they say on the commercials.
And also it's fun just talking about our story and sharing it again with somebody else.
We are.
We're absolutely real.
We are real.
Met on eHarmony.
Yep.
So many people have found the one they were looking for on eHarmony. Log on today and review your matches for free.
Here.
Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Justin and Kelly, the rarely seen home movies, behind the scenes bloopers. American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Bob Brenly, Len Casper, and our WGN sports crew from St. Louis, Missouri. And they lead 4-0 as the Cardinals are back at the plate. Aaron Miles singles on the first pitch. Honda Civic game summary. Jason Marquis has had excellent movement on his sinker all afternoon. The hit he just gave up, just the third of the day. They've been scattered. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. First time the Cardinals have put the leadoff man on base.
11 of the 15 outs that Jason Marquis has recorded in this game have come via the ground ball.
By the way, the Cubs today, if you're wondering, 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position. And it's 3-0 Marquis facing a little bit of adversity for the first time today. I point that out because they're hitting .333 with runners in scoring position. That's excellent. But we tend to remember the 10 outs that the Cubs have made in those spots. Much more than the 5 hits. There's a strike. And I think there have been a couple of hits that have been singles that have not scored runs early in innings. Base hit, rolled into right. Miles stopping. Merton got to it quickly, and a good throw. Nailed the cutoff man, Ronnie Cedeno. Back to the Honda Civic game summary. Merton with a 3-run homer and a couple of doubles from Alfonso Soriano.
And a couple of doubles from teammates as well. Jason Marquis has been very good through the first 5 innings of this ball game. Only 2 singles coming into this inning. Cardinals have tacked on a couple more leading off the top half of the 6th, rather the bottom half of the 6th.
Trouble here for Marquis. It's Pujols at the plate. 2 on, no outs.
Part of the ongoing education of Giovanni Soto. Not sure the reason for that visit. As quickly as Soto came up out of his crouch and ran out to the mound, you would almost guess a cross-up, but he caught that sinker really good, got underneath it, pushed it back up toward the middle of the strike zone to get the call. Yeah, hopefully they're on the same page now.
Cardinal fans are in it really for the first time all day, and Pujols cranks it, and it is foul. Cubs get a break. Just a long foul strike.
Pujols goes down and gets this one. A low pitch. And just does hook foul.
The 0-2. Good swing, fouled it back. 93, a little extra mustard on that heater by Marquis. First time the Cardinals have had 2 on in the same inning. And the pitch. Blowing away 2-2. This is the classic. Don't give him anything fat to hit, but don't walk him. Don't put the tying run at the plate. Marmol already up in the 6th.
And Jason's done a nice job on Pujols. His first 2 at-bats in this ball game. Got a double play grounder back in the 1st and a ground out to short in the 4th.
Two. Held it back off the mask of Soto. Is there a shark in the area?
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Well, we know sharks are notoriously ground ball hitters, so
that's what Marquis is hoping.
I like to see this from Jason. In my eyes, that's a veteran move right there. Pujols is pretty locked in up there at the plate. It looks like he's getting a good look at every pitch. Had some good swings in this sequence. So break up the rhythm. Step off the back of the mound. Take a little time. Try to execute a good pitch here.
To left again and deep. This ball's hooking and it's foul. Early trip to the mound by Soto.
And another low pitch. Pujols goes down, digs it out, and hooks it foul down that left field line once again. Well, he's so quick on pitches inside. But if you go out away from him, out over the plate, and allow him to extend his arms, that's when he can drive the ball with authority to center or right center. That good backdoor sinker down low in the zone right here.
Left center for Soriano. Flips down the shades. Makes a catch. A little slip. Everybody holding.
It sounded like Pujols hit that ball either off the end or off the handle a little bit. Didn't get all of it. High fly ball to left center field. I'm kind of surprised Miles didn't try to advance there. He had gone back to second base to tag up when he saw Soriano square up on that fly ball, and then Soriano slipped before throwing it back to the infield, and Miles just held his ground there at second base. It just didn't make that crisp sound you're used to hearing when a guy really hits a ball well. Didn't even reach the warning track in left center field. Certainly got the fans here at Busch Stadium on their feet for no reason.
Well, that was a fun sequence. I mean, it had its moments. It was nerve-wracking, but for Jason, that might have been his most important hitter of the year to get out. Albert Pujols. That's a huge challenge, and you know, guys get stubborn, and generally in a good way. But you know, Marquis didn't want to let Pujols off the hook. He didn't want to walk him, but he didn't want to serve up a 3-run homer either. Eventually got him to fly to deep left center. Now, those at bats are what make this game so great. Those big moments, you have to make a key pitch, and he did.
And then as exciting and challenging as that particular at bat was, you've got to come right back and refocus on the next hitter. Doesn't do you any good to battle Albert Pujols and eventually get him out if you come back and make a bad pitch on the next hitter.
Oh, what a great pitch. Edmonds has taken a called third twice, as has Spezio. Another comebacker.
Oh, no, that's a beautiful pitch. That's Greg Maddux with velocity right there. You can see Edmonds straightened up, locked his knees, thought that pitch was going to be inside off the plate, and tailed right back over the middle.
Ludwig with good power, 13 home runs. And just 259 at bats. One and one. We won't see Kerry Wood today after he pitched in both ends of the doubleheader yesterday. First time he had done that since he was in high school. Cub fans remember that day. It was right after he was drafted. 175 pitches for Grand Prairie High. 146 in game 1. 29 pitches in relief in game 2. He didn't get close to that last night. He was really good.
And showed no ill effects in the second game. Came back throwing BBs just like he did in the first game.
All 4 strikeouts for Marquis have been of the looking variety. The pitch. And that is ball 4, and they're loaded for Spezio, who has struck out twice, and here comes Lou Piniella.
Well, pitch count not an issue right here. The fact that the Cardinals have loaded the bases more of an issue, and Carlos Marmol has done such a great job this year of getting out of these jams without allowing inherited runners to score. I think Lou's going to allow Jason Marquis an opportunity to plead his case, and it didn't take long. And I think the success or lack of success for the next hitter at the plate, Scott Spezio, certainly enters into the equation as well. If the guy coming up to the plate had 2 real good at bats and hit the ball hard his first 2 times up, Lou probably makes the change right there. But Spezio hasn't had a beat on Jason Marquis in his first 2 at bats of this game.
Scott's from Joliet to the University of Illinois. And he bats with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss. The 0-1. Popped him up. And this one will find the seats. It's been all Cubs today, but the Cardinals have the tying run at the plate. Two. It's away. Tried to go on the back door there with a slider. By the way, Felix P.A. is playing center. There's a ground ball to Mark DeRosa. And Marquis gets out of the inning. They leave him loaded. We're going to go to the 7th with the Cubs up 4-0.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Fred Flintstone, an employee of Slate Rock Gravel Company. His wife, Wilma, a stay-at-home mom. Yet on this working man's salary, how did Wilma afford a necklace made of huge rocks?
Mr. Slate pays well, but he doesn't pay that well.
An investigation would reveal that Fred had the Flintmobile insured with Geico, saving the couple untold amounts of money. Their friendship with the Rubbles would soon become strained.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
When I'm riding, I can't let my allergy medicine put me in a fog. So I only ride Claritin Clear. Claritin works hard to relieve my worst allergy symptoms. Sneezing, runny nose, for a full 24 hours. In fact, it works so well, only Claritin is proven to make me alert and focused. And it doesn't make me drowsy, like some other medicines can. When I get allergy relief and stay razor sharp, I'm ahead from start to finish. Stay alert, stay focused, live Claritin Clear.
High fives there. DeRosa and Marquis chatting about that 6th inning. Cardinals put the first 2 on, but then he got Pujols, Edmonds, and after a walk to Ludwig, Spezio grounded out. We begin the 7th, and Giovanni Soto, who has 2 doubles and an infield hit, will take his 4th at bat. Falkenborg still pitching.
Well, the thing I like so much about Giovanni Soto and what we've seen in his brief playing time here at the major league level, he's ready to attack that first pitch. If he sees fastball middle of the plate in, he is ready to attack that pitch. But he rarely chases a bad pitch on that first pitch.
He's 4 for 4. It's been a career day at the plate for Soto.
It's that aggressive patience or patient aggressiveness, whatever you want to call it, being ready to attack the pitch if it's something you like, but having the discipline to lay off if it's not in the strike zone. And Soto has shown an amazing ability to do that in his short time up here in the major league level.
Cedeno looks at a strike. Marquis on deck. Base runners have not been a problem for the Cubs all day. At least 1 hit in every inning. At least 2 hits in 3. 5 hits in the 4-run 3rd. They came in right in the middle of the pack in the National League, 8th in runs. 3rd in team ERA. They've been about in the middle of the pack as far as fielding percentage defensively for much of the year.
Yeah, but we played the 6th inning without hitting a double. The way this game started, I thought every base hit for the Cubs was going to be a double.
It was early on as Cedeno strikes out.
Pitcher Jason Marquis.
Few boo birds. Fourth at bat for Jason. Cubs shutting out the Cardinals 4-0, and Milwaukee doing the same against the Reds at home. It's 5-zip Brewers in the last of the 7th. Carlos Villanueva working on a 6-hit shutout. Ned Yost is going to bring back Ben Sheets on short rest. He's going to pitch Tuesday after just 50 pitches on Friday. Popped up on the bunt attempt, foul. And that'll be at Houston against Woody Williams. The Brewers go right back to the road. Giovanni Gallardo against Matt Albers tomorrow. Three in Houston, 4 in Atlanta. The Astros at home leading the Pirates 13-3 in the 7th. Milwaukee does not have an off day the rest of the way. Cubs have 2 coming up. Bunted foul, that's a strikeout. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Sports mishaps and mayhem that's all caught on tape. Whacked Out Sports premieres after the game on Superstation WGN.
Happy 95th birthday to Lillian Nicoli from Glen Ellen. Breaking ball low on Soriano. I want to send out condolences to Gloria Crazia and her family. Her husband, Dr. Richard Crazia, passed away, lifelong Cub fan.
I have a note here from Sally Schweska. I believe that's correct. She's here with her 10 brothers and sisters this weekend, all big Cub fans. And I don't know if Sally realizes this, but the note she sent has her grocery list on the back side. Toilet paper, saltine crackers, tomatoes, beans, hamburger. Sounds like they were going to have a picnic. Got the whole family together here in St. Louis, so I hope they had a good time.
A 3-0 count on Soriano. DeRosa next. And Mark will bat with 2 runners on. Cub fans still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year. Visit Cubs.com and click on replay, the official secondary market site for the Chicago Cubs. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field. Check out replay at Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Bob, we got a great letter back in July from Garrett Evans. And he writes that we were an example that laughter is a powerful source to healing. In my case, I was shot in both of my legs in my German class in Norris Hall at Virginia Tech. When I got out of the hospital, I would always turn to the Cubs games on WGN, and the 2 of you kept me chuckling. Garrett, thank you for your letter, and we hope you're feeling a lot better. Virginia Tech class of 2007, and he signs it, Go Cubs.
Very nice. Thank you, Garrett.
Garrett from Plainfield, Illinois. A 1 bouncer, and the left on base total now up to 13 for the Cubs, along with 13 hits. Stretch time, 4-0.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
Give me a chance.
Do something to help me make it.
Make foster care better.
Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids.
I'm on the 415. Let's see what kind of plane you'll be on today.
Step over there and spin that wheel. Come on.
Come on, big plane.
Woo, big plane, big plane, big plane. Big plane, big plane. No. Small plane.
On Southwest Airlines, you'll never fly in a small plane. We guarantee every seat on every flight is on a big, comfortable Boeing 737.
You are now free to move about the country.
Introducing the first smartphone that really rocks. The new Moto Q Music from Verizon Wireless. Organize your life and give it a soundtrack. Because smartphones rock harder on America's most reliable wireless network, Verizon Wireless.
Here. Are you serious? Killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Now, wait a second. I just saw Ron in the radio booth. How did you get down there?
And where did that hair come from?
4-0 Cubs. They're trying to win this series and return home. And sole possession of first place. And with Milwaukee winning, it's imperative the Cubs come up with a win today. I should say Milwaukee leading. The game is not over. But they have a 5-0 advantage. Miguel Cairo would bat for the pitcher Falkenborg. Molina gets a hold of it, but Soriano there to make the catch. It's Kanye's Stronger. Today's Bud Light fan cam, always worth it. Fair ball past Ramirez. And it's a pinch hit double for Cairo.
Miguel Cairo off the bench. We mentioned that pitcher spot in this Cardinals order going to be manned by a different pinch hitter every time it rolls around. Ramirez with a good effort, but just couldn't quite get there.
Fifth hit allowed by Marquis, and Lou's going to take the baseball. Lester Strode opening that gate for Carlos Marmol. Cubs lead 4-0, and we'll be back.
Want to sell your car? Don't list it in a newspaper. Sure, lots of people read the paper, but only a fraction of readers search the newspaper for a car. If you really want to sell it, call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER now or visit autotrader.com. We give you 2 powerful ways to list your car, online and in print. In fact, AutoTrader is the source people turn to when looking for a used car, reaching more buyers than any newspaper. A lot more. Nearly 13 million car buyers a month. That's nearly 13 million online and shopping their local Auto Trader magazine. So call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER or visit autotrader.com today. Get an online listing plus a listing in the magazine with photos, a detailed description, and more, all for one low price. Don't bother with the newspaper classifieds. Sell your car now with Auto Trader. Call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER or visit autotrader.com.
Starting next week, Superstation WGN wants to give you a year's supply of free gas.
I am not pulling your finger.
Fill her up with a Corner Gas free gas giveaway. Next week, watch Corner Gas Monday through Thursday at midnight and be on the lookout for the special bobblehead. Then go online to superstationwgn.com and tell us who you saw. 10 lucky winners score a year's supply of free gas. Enter every day because the more times you enter, the more chances you have to win. Watch Corner Gas for the Corner Gas free gas giveaway. No purchase necessary. Gas card maximum $2,000.
Hard throwing Carlos Marmol. No surprises. Fastballs and sliders. And he's stranded 90% of his inherited runners. There's one on right now. Cairo in scoring position. Skip Schumacher. A pinch hit for Brendan Ryan. That ball got past the catcher, and now Cairo is at third. A wild pitch.
The numbers for Marmol just jump off the page at you. In his last 14 outings, he's pitched 18 in the third innings of scoreless baseball.
Schumacher couldn't hold up on the slider. Carlos doesn't have to watch a ton of video on opposing hitters because he gets a good look at them during the ball game early on. And quite honestly, his stuff is so good and his repertoire so small. There's a base hit. It's 4-1. That generally he's going to do what he's going to do. And while you do try to understand hitters' strengths and weaknesses, not a lot of secrets with what Carlos does.
Well, and Carlos,
the book on Marquis.
You rarely see Carlos shake off his catcher anyway. I mean, he defers to the guy who's been sitting behind the plate the entire ball game, and by the time Carlos gets in there, hopefully that catcher's got a good idea of what guys are swinging at, what they're putting in play, and given the fact, as you said, Carlos is a two-pitch pitcher, it really eliminates a lot of the guesswork. Just throw what the catcher hangs down there.
Only the fifth inherited runner he is allowed to score. Came in leading the National League, as we mentioned, 90%. It's pretty amazing. This is only a 3-run game, considering how it's gone to this point. Miles swings and misses, and he'll head back to the dugout after the second out of the inning. A couple of runs for the Reds, so they're within 3. They're still batting in the 8th. They have 2 on with 2 outs. Marquis charged with 1 run in 6 1/3 on just 5 hits. He walked 2, he fanned 4. Well, all the strikeouts were the looking variety. 88 pitches. ERA went from 4.17 And you know what? I can't update it yet. We'll wait till the inning ends. But it'll be lower than 417. Don't have to tell you who's on deck.
And normally you would expect Ankiel to have the green light here on a 3-0 count. One of the few power hitters the Cardinals have in this lineup today.
Tying run comes up, and it's Albert Pujols. And a visit now from Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. I keep thinking about the Ringo Starr Classic. It don't come easy. And that has been the case throughout the trip for the Chicago Cubs.
Pujols 2 for 7 lifetime against Carlos Marmol. Marmol did face him back in the first game of the series, got him to fly out to center field. Actually, that was the first game of the split doubleheader yesterday.
I can't remember what day it is. Play 2-1. 2-0 on Pujols. Be careful, Carlos. Went with a slider and was off the plate inside. That's an indication that he might just go after Edmonds, and it may not be Marmol with air ready. Problem here is you don't want to intentionally walk the tying run on base. A strike, 3-1. There's a drive deep to left, and he pulled another one. Foul. Oof.
Breathe. Breathe. That's a belt-high fastball inside corner. Pujols has hit about 3 foul home runs in this ball game today.
Deep breath. 3-2. Runners will get a head start. A run in for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. Reached out. Soto and Marmol are over there, and Soto can't get there. And new life for Pujols.
Just wasn't high enough in the air to give any of the Cub defenders an opportunity to get over there. Kind of a one-handed swing, got fooled by the pitch. Soto with a little bit of a late start, had problems getting his helmet off right there and coming right into your living room just a little bit late.
Three and 2. The pitch. Bases loaded. I don't know about you, but I'm fine with that. The last 2 at-bats for Pujols scaring the heck out of me.
Yeah, he's had some real aggressive cuts, obviously seeing the ball pretty good.
Lou coming. Now he signaled with his right hand. So it's going to be Bob Howry. He had air ready. He's going to go with his 8th inning guy with 2 outs in the 7th. I don't have to say it, but I will. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Don't touch my Bud Light.
Yeah, right.
Orange.
Little one.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Calm off. Nice work, boys.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
Fly one of Southwest's 11 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to the San Francisco Bay Area for just $99, including new service to San Francisco International.
You are now free to move about the country.
Jason Marquis, the starting pitcher today, hoping Bob Howry can get out of this inning. Jim Edmonds just 1 for 8 versus Howry. And if you're wondering, 4 for 9 against Scott Air.
And just to take it a step further, this season against left-handed pitching, Jim Edmonds hitting 198 against right-handed pitchers, 265. Put all the numbers in the computer, and Lou comes up with Bob Howry out of the bullpen rather than Scott Air.
Four to 1. Bases loaded. They had him loaded in the 6th. With 2 outs, Marquis got out of it. Big strike. 1-1. Edmonds has struck out twice. A single in a 4th in between those 2 Ks against Marquis. Here's the 1-1 inside corner strike.
Bob Howry doing a great job of moving that ball in and out. Got the called strike away. Comes right back inside with a tailing fastball for called strike 2. Boy, for me, the key to Jim Edmonds is to keep the ball down. He's a real good high ball hitter, whether it's inside, outside.
A kick and a 1-2. Popped him up. This should get him out of it. Derek Lee with a catch. Ball was up in the air for a long time. Howry gets out of it. They leave him loaded. It's 4-1 after 7.
I need you to hurry up now, 'cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be.
Think back to the best beer you've ever had. Now, get ready to top it. Fresh Budweiser served on draft. No other beer is this fresh. And the taste, just as the brewmaster intended. Will be your best beer ever? I say we find out. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
That Alfredo really hit the spot.
He just said that about the meat sauce.
Different dish, different spot.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl with new sausage and peppers marinara. Pick any sauce and pasta combination, then another. Just $8.95. Have all you want.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Crawfish etouffee. Crawfish po' boy.
Shrimp, oysters.
How about a dozen?
The food is like nowhere else. Right here in New Orleans.
Red beans and rice.
With a little spice.
Just enough to make you happy.
Crawfish pie.
Beignets.
Fried crawfish.
Come for it all.
Come fall in love with New Orleans all over again.
Call now or visit NewOrleansOnline.com to order your free guide and get great hotel rates starting at $79.
I already said that. Didn't I already say fried crawfish?
Funniest pets and people. Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
Veteran right-hander Troy Percival is on to do the pitching, and a ton of changes now. Miguel Cairo is now playing second after pinch hitting. Ankiel goes from right to center. Schumacher now playing right. Aaron Miles also moved to short. And I believe that's it.
Don't you think it ought to be? Hey, you may have noticed Rick Ankiel with that wrap on the left hand. He made that diving catch of Craig Monroe's bid for extra bases earlier in the ball game. Apparently got a handful of gravel. They got it taped up for now. I'm sure they'll take a closer look at it after the ball game.
Called strike on Derek Lee. Cubs have left 2 on in every inning except the second when they stranded just 1. How about some breathing room? This team sure needs it after that harrowing bottom of the 7th. Cardinals have gotten too close for comfort to the Cubs, considering how they have dominated today. And going to the 9th in Milwaukee with the Brewers leading the Reds 5-2. Squibb to first. Pujols no problem. And what ultimately Carlos Marmol did in the 7th, as he did not let Pujols beat him. And then Howery came on and retired Jim Edmonds.
All right,
In that game in Milwaukee, the Reds have 10 hits but just 2 runs. They have stranded 9 today and have gone 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Francisco Cordero came on again in the 8th inning with 2 outs. So he's trying to pick up another 4-out save.
Well, if you're the team chasing in a pennant race, it's time to pull out all the stops. There's no saving anybody for later. Every day is important. You have to win every ball game.
Pop up by Ramirez, a similar reaction to his infield pop last night against Springer. So 2 quick outs, and it's Matt Merton. Troy Percival was done. He had retired, then came back with the Cardinals. Had a right forearm injury with Detroit. Had previously pitched in 2005. He's sharing. Well, maybe not. I ate so much yesterday. Oh, man. We were here for a good 13.5 hours, something like that. Oh.
Tested a little bit of everything at the concession stand back here.
Percival was working as a special assignment pitching instructor with the Angels when he came out of retirement. Signed a minor league deal in June.
I think the really interesting story about Percival is the fact that he threw out the ceremonial first pitch at the Angels home opener this year.
Yeah, that's usually an indication that you're done.
Apparently it was a real good pitch, and the scouts saw it and decided that he had a little more gas left in the tank. He's a maximum effort guy, no question about it. You may be able to hear him grunting out there on the mound as he releases the pitch.
Turned 38 in August. Still throws hard, 93. A fastball. He has a Cubs pennant. Wow, sitting with a lot of Albert Pujols fans.
Everywhere.
1, 2, 3, 4. Merton walks. Reaching for the third time today. If I told you Soriano has 2 doubles and a walk, DeRosa's walked twice, Lee has 2 hits, Ramirez 3 walks, Merton a home run, a single and a walk, Monroe with a double, Soto 4 hits, Cedeno with 2, and I said the Cubs would have 4 runs, you'd say what? Sam Fuld pinch running for Merton. PA entered the game in the 6th.
Sam Fuld has yet to have an at-bat this season, but he has scored 2 runs. Been a pinch runner. This will be his 7th time as a pinch runner.
Fuld running, and Felix PA hits that ball deep to right field. It's hooking near the pole, and it is foul.
Felix trying to steer that ball fair as he was watching the flight of it down that right field line. He absolutely clubs a high fastball, trying to lean it back to fair territory, but it just refuses to listen. Well, it's a shame for a couple of different reasons. Fuld had an awesome jump over there at first base, was going to steal second easily. But Felix, being a left-handed hitter, didn't realize that. He was focused on the pitcher, didn't know what kind of jump Sam Fuld had over there at first base.
And Fuld will make it to second. He was ready to go, and once that ball hit the dirt, he took off.
Good anticipation by the pinch runner. You see Molina just kind of reach across to try to backhand that ball. Normally a very good blocker of pitches in the dirt, but I think the speed of Sam Fuld at first base had him thinking he had to pick that ball out of the dirt and be ready to throw, and couldn't come up with it cleanly.
It's a final in Milwaukee. Francisco Cordero notched his 43rd save. Carlos Villanueva clutched today on the mound. 7 shutout frames, beat Matt Belisle. So the lead is down to a half game. They're tied in the loss column. The Brewers are 76 and 72. The Cubs 77 and 72. So Milwaukee with 2 games in hand. be after this one is finished. Spezio and Miles with room, and it's Spezio backpedaling and hauling it in. They left another 4-1.
Well, I got 2 words for you. Boycott.
Hank, if you had the power to put companies out of business by just not being a customer, why am I still able to buy mouthwash?
And deodorant. Clean underwear. Pickup trucks.
You don't know what we're doing, do you, Dad?
Shut up.
Sex in the City, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Hungry for a real breakfast? Have one during the week for just $4.99. It's Denny's new weekday breakfast slam. Only $4.99 for 2 eggs, bacon and sausage, hash browns, and 2 pancakes. This price won't last long, so come to Denny's.
Introducing the first smartphone that really rocks. The new Moto Q Music from Verizon Wireless. Organize your life and give it a soundtrack. Because smartphones rock harder on America's most reliable wireless network, Verizon Wireless.
Answer the call of the wild with outrageous animal antics and stupid human tricks, all caught on camera. When it comes to all things funny, you're barking up the right tree. Funniest Pets and People, Tuesdays at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Bottom of the 8th, it's 4-1 Cubs. Ryan Ludwig will start it. He's batting 5th in the Cardinal order today. Huge crowd again. 45,735. Howie trying to set up for Ryan Dempster.
Boy, and Lou Piniella in that third base dugout right now is rooting for a 1-2-3, 1-2-3 to end this ball game and stay away from Rick Ankiel and Albert Pujols one more time.
The hitters count for Ludwig. Big football game in town, and the Rams lost by a point to the 49ers today. It's a huge sports day here in St. Louis. Three and one. Skies are a little darker than they were about an inning ago. Haven't seen any rain. It's been overcast throughout. Mild temperatures. There's a walk to start the inning. Well, coming up now, the last step of the ultimate 7th inning stretch competition is upon us. Here's Peter Mastro, one of the 10 finalists. He's from Carroll Stream, Illinois.
Me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack.
I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2,
Go to
3 strikes, you're
to cast
out
your
at
vote.
the
Scott Spezio sends it high and deep, right field corner, and a leaping catch by Sam Fuld. What a play by the rookie out in right. Remember that one.
Oh, my. Mentioned Sam Fuld has come on 7 times as a pinch runner. Rarely gets opportunities to go out there and play defensively, but what a great defensive play he makes when given an opportunity. Over into foul territory down in that right field corner. Nice leaping catch up against the sidewall. Gets the ball back in quickly to hold Ludwig at first base. Nicely done.
Swing and a miss. I did not see an indication from Tim McClellan. They will point whether it's a fair ball or a foul ball. It was very close. I'm guessing it was foul.
If I had to guess, I'd say it was a foul ball as well, but it doesn't take any of the luster off of that catch. Nicely done.
A huge out. Runner goes. They were hitting and running down 3 in the 8th.
It's kind of odd down in that right field corner. The warning track is a lot larger down in that corner than it is in anywhere else in the ballpark. It kind of expands to allow the grounds crew equipment to get around that corner and not drive on the outfield grass. And for a guy who has very little experience defensively at the major league level, especially in this ballpark, that was a nice play.
But it does go down as a foul out. The 0-2 pitch to Molina. Foul back beyond the screen. A little bit more on Peter Mastro from Carroll Stream. He says the spirit of the ultimate Cub fan lives in our generation. It cannot be someone 20 or 30. They've not been around long enough to have witnessed the teams of the 60s, 70s, or 80s. So his desire is to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in the booth with us on September 22nd. Cubs and the Pirates that day. There's a base hit to right. And that catch by Fuld looming very large. Even though it would have been foul, it would have kept the Spezio bat alive. So the tying run's going to come up again.
Now, once again, always with an eye on Big Albert and where his spot in the order is. The Cubs could really use a double play ball right here. They could still avoid him if they got a double play ball and a 1-2-3 ninth.
Cairo had the ultimate game-winning hit yesterday with a triple, and Soriano and shuffle comes in actually at the end, makes the catch, 2 away. I want to get back into the Cubs and the Brewers right now. And this situation has kind of reversed itself. For a while there, the Cubs had games in hand, and we mentioned when they were a game out or a half game out, they were tied in the loss column. The loss column is key when you have teams that haven't played the same amount of games, because as long as you are tied in that column, you still hold your fate in your own hands. So the point is, if Milwaukee doesn't lose again the rest of the year, at worst they will be tied. The Cubs can say the same thing. You can't make up losses. If you have one more loss, you have to hope that the team ahead of you loses to even it up. That's why we say tied in the loss column, or 1 up or 1 down in that column. And if the Cubs win today, they will still be tied in the loss column, but will have 2 more wins than the Brewers. Dempster's up, the closer. Scott Air is also up again. So just something to look at here down the stretch. Swing and a miss by Schumacher. So ultimately, Bob, those 2 extra games the Brewers have, those become pretty key games.
for a lot of different reasons. I mean, we've talked that Ned Yost has brought his closer in back-to-back days for 4-out saves. And the Brewers are going to have at least 2 days the rest of the season where they're out there grinding while the Cubs are sitting and watching.
That's right. Cedeno can't get it. They'll try to score a run, and they will. 4-2. Just couldn't get his glove on it. That'll be an RBI single for Skip Schumacher.
But with that runner at second base and 2 outs in the inning, an infielder is taught to smother that ball. Keep it in the infield. That will prevent that runner from second base from scoring. It looked like Ronnie tried to back up, play that ball on a hop. I think with a little more experience, you'd see Ronnie play that ball differently.
Miles bunted that ball, I think, in and out of the glove of Soto. And if Giovanni had caught it, it would have been a foul tip. 1 strike. Fly ball by Miles. PA camped under it, and the inning is over. They do get 1. So Ankiel and Pujols, along with Jim Edmonds, will bat in the bottom of the 9th. But first things first, the Cubs coming back on offense.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
That's why Southwest Airlines has 8 daily nonstop flights from Chicago Midway to Philadelphia, so you can always catch a later flight. And you can count on us to get you there with our convenient nonstop flights and on-time service.
You are now free to move about the country.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Brian's profile definitely jumped out at me, and I was excited to get to know this person better.
Every year, thousands of singles like Amy and Brian get matched on eHarmony.com.
And, we were matched on as many compatibility levels as we could.
Aren't you curious to see who you're compatible with?
I think it's extremely important to be open-minded to every single match that you get, and you could find the love of your life.
Log on to eHarmony.com today and review your matches absolutely free.
Justin and Kelly, the rarely seen home movies, behind the scenes bloopers. American Idol Rewind. Tonight at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Well, it's 4-2 Cubs, and let's check out our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule, sponsored by Comcast. Cubs back in HD Wednesday night against the Cincinnati Reds at 7 on WCIU Channel 26. Next Saturday at noon versus the Pirates on WGN Sports. The winner of the ultimate 7th-inning stretch competition will handle the stretch that day. And then our final home broadcast of the regular season Sunday against the Pirates, beginning with our push for the playoff special at 12:30. 2007 Cubs baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Giovanni Soto looks at a breaking ball low. He is 4 for 4. Average up to 440. Not a ton of at-bats. He started .333 today. A drive to right. Back to the warning track. Caught by Schumacher. That's the only out he's made all day. He just missed a home run.
He chases the right fielder all the way to the fence out there in right field on his only out of the day. Drove that ball with authority. Just comes up that much short.
We've received a bunch of emails. Is Giovanni Soto available for the postseason? If the Cubs want to put him on the postseason roster, he'll be on it. He was recalled on September 1st, but bottom line is just to be in the organization. You have guys on the DL. They can be replaced once the postseason starts. So that's not an issue. Now, for instance, the Brewers acquired Ray King, a left-hander, former Cub. After September it started. He is not eligible for the Brewers postseason roster. I think Bill Miller was acquired 1 year, might have been by the Giants in September, and was not available for the postseason roster. Popped up by Ronnie. Sending Spezio over in that coach's box, and he made the catch. Now, the Cubs traded Bill Miller to the Giants on September 3rd, 2002. Here's Darrell Ward. He pinch hits for Howery.
Well, if and when the Cubs are forced to pick that playoff roster, you have to believe that Giovanni Soto is going to be included. I could be speaking way out of school here, but Henry Blanco has not played since August 26th. He's only played 3 times since coming back off the disabled list. And considering what Soto brings to the party, a power bat from the right side. We mentioned he's been solid defensively behind the plate. Doesn't appear to be overwhelmed either at the plate or behind the plate. I think he just gives the Cubs a little bit more of a weapon back there than Henry Blanco would. Of course, that's going to be a tough decision for Lou and his staff when that time comes.
These two clubs today have combined to leave 25 on base. 14 Cubs, 11 Cardinals. You might be auditioning for the TV show Lost. Stranded.
Left on base. That'd be a good title for some kind of a reality show.
Last week on Lob. Two and one on Ward. The pitch. He popped it up. And Molina had to reach out at the last second and haul it in. Percival goes 1-2-3. Ryan Dempster on in a save spot. Won't be easy. Ankiel, Pujols, Edmonds.
More bounce checks. Who is it? Peter Parker. Is he from down here? Marge Simpson. That sounds familiar. She's bounced checks here before, I think. Don't take checks from Marge Simpson.
This is one for you.
She's still trying to track down Arthur Fonzarelli.
Funniest pets and people. Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
What makes the world's perfect beer? Start with the choicest hops and the best barley malt. Then Beechwood age it for that crisp, clean taste. Finally, throw in a football and 60,000 friends. The taste that makes it game day. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ Hot Tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
I'm thinking of a number. Do you know what it is? It's 20 million. That's how many people have already checked their free Experian credit report at freecreditreport.com for some very good reasons.
Now we can monitor all 3 of our national credit reports every day.
It helps us save money and check for potential identity theft.
I got my credit report and credit score online in seconds.
Isn't it time to get your free credit report and score? Well, log on now to freecreditreport.com.
Offer applies with the Roman Triple Advantage.
Ryan Dempster is on trying to pick up the save, and I want to make a correction. Edmonds taken out earlier, so it'll be Ankiel Pujols and a pinch hitter. Percival was dropped into that spot. Key is always to get the first hitter, and boy, is that ever the case in this inning.
Well, hugely important here. You need Albert Pujols up there to the plate with nobody on base and 1 out here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
I have a feeling we're going to see Chris Duncan, who has been used as a pinch hitter in this series. It's about all he can do. Ground ball. Derek Lee to Dempster. 1 out.
Big out.
The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is Pete Toma. Skip Ellison is our director. Mark Brady, our associate producer. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager in the booth, Kerry Garcia, our studio coordinator back at WGN, Christina Ballas, and the rest of our crew here in St. Louis. Also thanks to our technical director, Dan Stella, who made the trip from Chicago. Cardinals have lost 9 of 10. Right now 6 games out. 2 outs away from being 7 back. 2 strikes on Pujols. So Taguchi is on deck. Base hit, and we'll see if Taguchi's going to hit. He is. Believe it or not, that's the first hit of the day for Pujols, who has crushed the ball all over the yard but foul in his previous at-bats. Lou is telling Derek Lee to play behind Pujols. Taguchi nothing for 6 versus Dempster. Ground ball, Cedeno, DeRosa, Lee, Cubs win. They go 6-4-3 to end it. They win 3 of 4 this weekend, a 7-4 trip, and they're back to a game ahead of Milwaukee. The Brewers won earlier today, but the Cubs held serve. Sam Fuld with a big catch earlier, A very bizarre offensive day. 13 hits. They stranded 14 runners, but that one inning was enough. And Jason Marquis gets his 12th win of the year.
We talked about it earlier, Len. It doesn't matter how you get it done, just so you get it done. And today the Cubs were able to do that. Squandered some opportunities, but pitching staff was able to make it stand up.
The final score, the Cubs 4, the Cardinals 2. It'll be so great to get back home. Starting tomorrow night, the Reds for 3, then the Pirates for 3. We'll be back in a moment.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Women seem to be coming on to me in an unusual manner.
You have sex with someone and then they find their true love.
That's ridiculous.
I guess you are a lucky charm.
This Friday.
Fess up about this charm.
No, it's not me.
The man everyone wants. Only wants her.
What makes you think I'll be kissing you?
Dane Cook.
Kim's the one man.
Jessica Alba.
Where do I get this?
Good Luck Chuck. Rated R. In theaters Friday.
Want to sell your car? Don't list it in a newspaper. Sure, lots of people read the paper, but only a fraction of readers search the newspaper for a car. If you really want to sell it, call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER now or visit autotrader.com. We give you 2 powerful ways to list your car, online and in print. In fact, AutoTrader is the source people turn to when looking for a used car, reaching more buyers than any newspaper. A lot more. Nearly 13 million car buyers a month. That's nearly 13 million online and shopping their local AutoTrader magazine. So call 1-866-AUTO-TRADER or visit autotrader.com today. Get an online listing plus a listing in the magazine with photos, a detailed description, and more, all for one low price. Don't bother.
Thing you mentioned in Len Merton, Merton, Monroe, Soto, and Cedeno, the 4 guys at the bottom of the order. Part-time players stepped up in a big way today, including that 3-run bomb by Merton.
Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment, open up a world of taste. Our next WGN-produced telecast of Cubs baseball will be Wednesday night on WCIU Channel 26. The Cubs will wrap up their season series with the Cincinnati Reds. We will hit the air at 7 o'clock Central Time. Tom Schern will start for the Reds. It will be left-hander Ted Lilly for the Cubs, 7 o'clock again on Wednesday. We're back on WGN Saturday at noon against the Pittsburgh Pirates for Game 2 of the final 3-game home set of the year at Wrigley Field. John Van Benscote and Rich Hill, our 60th year bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Baseball like it ought to be. Once again, our final today. The Cubs 4, the Cardinals 2. So now for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, Bob Vorwald, and our entire crew. This is Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned now. The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is next.
Born in 1983, Ben Winkler was one of the first Cabbage Patch Kids. But it wouldn't be long before this Cabbage Patch Kid became a Cabbage Patch adult. Like so many child stars before him, Ben was struggling. However, his bad fortune turned around when in 2003, it is believed he switched his car insurance to Geico, netting him much-needed money. Financially secure, he went on to win a celebrity dance competition.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Here.
Are you serious? Killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
Superstation WGN is your home for big league baseball.
Can put it on the board! Yes!
So come on home.
This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show, brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers.
Early offense and stellar pitching today, and the Cubs beating the Cardinals. Jason Marquis with his 12th victory of the year. Mark Mulder struggled again. He drops to 0-3, and Ryan Dempster gets the save, his 28th. Bob Brenly will rejoin me when we come back. The Cubs with a one-game lead over Milwaukee in the National League Central.
Answer the call of the wild with outrageous animal antics and stupid human tricks, all caught on camera. When it comes to all things funny, you're barking up the right tree. Funniest Pets and People, Tuesdays at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Dog River has always been a farming community. We should build a hoe.
World's biggest hoe?
Covered with topsoil.
Now it's a big dirty hoe.
Okay, you know what? I don't know if this hoe thing is such a great idea.
What makes the world's perfect beer? Start with the choicest hops and the best barley malt. Then Beechwood age it for that crisp, clean taste. Finally, throw in a football and 60,000 friends. The taste that makes it game day. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Here. Are you serious? Killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot dips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
We're in the seventh circle of hell here. It's too much. She's turned the coffee shop into a gay bar.
Does Hank always get so worked up over nothing?
Just most of the time.
Let's say you and me run down Main Street with our pants off. That'd be fun. Ta-da!
He's like a young Trudeau.
Do you want to introduce me?
Yeah, to toothpaste.
Look at us. We're identical.
We're not identical. I have different pants than you.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into your pants.
You're not going to with that kind of whining.
It's always good for us to step back and look at the big picture. The Cubs started this long road trip, 11 games in 10 days, tied for first in the National League Central. They end the trip one game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers won today, but the Cubs did as well here in St. Louis. 4-2 the final score, and I think we have to start with the role players today. Against the left-hander Mark Mulder, Lou Piniella got as many right-handed bats into the lineup as he possibly could, and that was huge.
It really was, and for those guys, even though they don't get to start very often, we don't see them on the field very often, it doesn't mean they haven't been working hard in preparation for a day just like today. You and I both know we see Matt Merton in that cage for hours every day, preparing just in case Lou calls on him to come in there and do something, and Matt Merton was the big hero in the ballgame today.
We hear about closer controversies. That's not the case now. Ryan Dempster has pitched well, but maybe a catcher controversy. It's a good problem to have. Giovanni Soto with 4 big hits today.
Well, it's nice to have options. We talked about it during the telecast. Henry Blanco's only started 3 games since coming back off the DL. It's been almost a month since his last start, and in the meantime, Giovanni Soto is starting to make some noise like he wants to be that guy on the postseason roster.
And Dempster now 28 out of 31 in save opportunities in 07. We'll have a final word and check in on our Culver's defensive play when we come back.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
Think back to the best beer you've ever had. Now, get ready to top it. Fresh Budweiser served on draft. No other beer is this fresh. And the taste, just as the brewmaster intended. Will it be your best beer ever? I say we find out. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
It's time to feel free.
with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Here. Are you serious? You're killing me. Happy?
It's all about the sauce. Try the new DQ hot tips for just $3.99. Great sauces served hot that make our chicken strips worth begging for.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
The final today, the Cubs 4, the Cardinals 2. The youngsters here in St. Louis circling the bases. Here's today's sweet defensive play of the game. Another youngster, a rookie, Sam Fold, over in the right field corner, came in late as a pinch runner, made an excellent catch in foul ground. That retired Spezia. The Cardinals would go on to score 1, but that was it in the 8th inning. Final again today, Cubs 4, Cardinals 2. We'll see you back home in the middle of the week.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN.